This is Tina, your host, and today we are connecting you with Beavers Field, or the official name. I'm going to let Tyler tell you about it. We have Tyler Sisson with us today, who is the vice president of this fine establishment.
Yes, so our actual name is Fairfield County Baseball Complex Association.
Yes, and it's complex, so
yes,
we'll just call it Beavers Field.
Yes.
And so you were going to say on that the association encompasses just that whole area.
Yes, it's the whole land is actually the Fairfield County complex, and then Beavers Field is kind of what we're known by because that's all we really have right now is the actual field itself.
However, we are expanding to make it a true complex, and that's what we're going to talk about today. First, though, share with us, how long have you been with the complex?
Probably since the day I was born. I mean, my grandfather, Al Beavers, is the one that started the association.
Okay, so Al is grandpa.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So pretty much since day one, I've been a part of that, and it's been pretty much my life.
Your life. So you're a big baseball player, I'm assuming?
I was. I went to college for baseball. I coach now. I coach at OUL and the post-11 team that we have. So baseball is definitely very close to our hearts.
Yeah. How on earth, I don't even know, how long has Beavers Field itself been there? And was it used for baseball before then when it was just a plain old unfinished field?
It started in 87 is when the organization started, and then it took about 3 years for him to build that. It was just a farm field, a giant hill, and it took a lot of moving dirt to make that level and make the scenery you have now with the hills that you can watch the game on. And to get that all level and play, it took about 3 years.
Yeah.
And we started playing in 91, I believe.
So the field that we see today, the baseball diamond, was more of a hill and it had to be cut out?
Correct. It was a farm field.
Ooh. So really, there probably was not any baseball playing on that location prior to then. It just wasn't a...
Maybe with sticks and rocks, but not officially.
more rolling down the hill
yes.
than playing ball. And so Beavers Field, a long time, big part of our community, and it's taken this many years for it to truly become the complex that the vision I think was for it in the beginning.
Yes, it was a lot of work. About every year, I feel like my grandfather does a big project up there. We kind of have a running joke, what's going to be new this year? And actually this year was new decks.
Okay.
So every year.
Explain what that is to us non-baseball people.
So we put 2 new viewing decks on each side of the dugouts.
Okay.
So that way you can walk out and actually see the field over the decks and on top of the hills.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So just about every year we add something new for the fans or for the players themselves.
Well, I know that, I have been to Beavers Field to watch baseball a handful of times in my life. And so I know that this particular field is like the, the Hershey Kiss of fields in Fairfield County. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. It's the cream of the crop. And to play on Beavers Field is a real privilege and fun for the kids because it is such a nice field.
Yes, we definitely take a lot of pride in how well we maintain the field. I mean, for being a privately owned field, it's definitely something that is like no other.
Yeah.
We've been rated the best field in Ohio back in 2004 versus the playing surface wise, so that was a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, and do you still play on regular grass or turf?
We have turf infield and grass outfield.
Okay, which is probably the perfect combination.
Yeah, and actually if you look at it, you really can't tell the difference when you're up on a hill.
When you're looking from the stands, you can't see where one ends and one begins?
Nope, you can't. A lot of people think the whole field is turf.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something we take a lot of pride in to keep that green and that beautiful.
You know what? I have just recently been talking about the difference between the expenses of some sports because of the cost of keeping a field so pristine as you're saying now.
Yes, it's definitely a high cost. I think the main cost is the labor, which is something that my grandpa puts a lot of time into that field as far as...
And probably you, Tyler.
I do too, but not as much now after graduating and having to have my own job. But as a kid, I spent just as much time as he did, but I've kind of had to step back and...
So what is some of the labor that goes into keeping a field playable?
A lot of mowing, because we have 13 acres out there, so it's not just the field itself. Putting the turf in helped a lot with dragging. We don't have to drag the field every day now, but a lot of care on the warning track, a lot of care in the outfield, a lot of spraying, fertilizing, things like that.
And the mowing to just the right nth of an inch to make it look like the turf and the field are all one.
Exactly, yes. he mows that just about every day or every other day. And then with taking care of those 13 acres, it's a lot of mowing and weed whacking.
Yeah. Wow. And you called dragging. What is the purpose of that?
Pretty much, so when you have the dirt and players are on there, you drag it to make it level, take out the footprints, take out all those divots.
Yes.
That really helps keep the grass from growing too.
Okay.
In the dirt.
All right. Well, wow. Lots of things go into making a baseball diamond what it is and something that people are excited, the kids are excited about coming to play on. And I believe that is open to a lot of different leagues and people play on that field.
Yeah, so OUL plays all their home games there, which is High University of Lancaster.
Across the street, makes sense.
Exactly, because they don't have a field currently on their property.
And you're a coach.
I am. I'm an assistant coach there.
Wow.
Which I have been for 2 years now.
Nice.
And then also Lancaster their varsity plays all their home games there. And then our team, which is Lancaster Post 11, our Legion team, our junior and senior team obviously plays all their games there, which takes up pretty much the whole summer. Every once in a while we have a few outside teams that can sneak some games in there in that tight schedule.
And I know there's a big tournament there every year.
Well, we have multiple. So we have our Post 11 Classic, which is the 4th of July weekend. That's our big tournament. And then also we have the American Legion State Tournament, which brings in about 7,000 people around the time of the festival.
And when we're talking about Legion, we're talking about elite traveling teams, or no? Is that something different?
It's similar. So with American Legion, it's something that's been around. It's an organization that's nationwide. So it's something that's been around for a long time, whereas travel ball is more of just random startups.
Gotcha.
They don't really have a league.
Gotcha.
So American Legion kind of plays more in a league and has an in-tournament versus just playing in multiple different tournaments.
I see. Very interesting. Well, Tyler Sisson is here to share with us about the Beavers Field and the complex there and the thing that is going to make it truly a complex. Before we go to break, tell us, what is the unveiling of this big announcement and project y'all are going to be working on?
So our main goal is to open up a indoor facility. That way we can be open year-round for sports. And our goal is to expand that not just only for baseball, but to open that to just about any sport possible.
Really? Like basketball? And
our goal is to eventually get to basketball, to be able to have portable courts for volleyball and basketball. But our initial opening up would be more for soccer, volleyball, things that don't really need the court necessary. Basketball, it's tough to bounce a ball on turf.
Yeah. And so the complex truly would be that you have this multiple sport indoor arena. And so tell us how big it's going to be.
It's going to be 130 by 120, which 110 by 110 of that will be open span, 30 feet high. So to put that in perspective, it's actually 2 basketball courts side by side.
Could you literally play a baseball game in there?
Not a full game. Our goal is to have maybe like T-ball you could play. It's big enough to have live T-ball in there, but the height restrictions and stuff like that, safety to have a real game would be tough.
Yeah, I wondered about that. So lots of different things going to be going into this project at Beavers Field. You've been around baseball your whole life, been around this field your whole life. And I don't know, you look young 20s maybe, but so after 20-some years, you're finally going to get to see this huge, big indoor arena. How exciting is that?
I'm extremely excited. So Beavers Field was kind of my grandpa's passion, his dream to own his own baseball field, and this has been my dream since I was little to have a facility like this. Yeah,
very cool. Well, share with us, because now that the word is out, there's going to be this huge 15,000 plus square feet building sitting on Beavers Field. Tell us about where on the property it's going to sit.
Yeah, so for those of you that have been up there, it will be in the back parking lot area all the way up against the wooded line there, and that's our plan.
And is that the back property line, basically?
No, actually, we own quite a few acres back into those. Yes.
Okay.
We just don't really want to worry about tearing down trees, leveling out land.
Gotcha.
We're going to put it right on the back parking lot.
Okay. So when the complex is built, do you think this will be the culmination of what your grandfather has always dreamed for this property, or is there other future buildings or addings on that you think he would want?
As of right now, I don't think there's anything else in our heads as far as adding in, but we are always thinking about things. As I said, when you're mowing that much, there's a lot of thinking that goes on. So you never know what we might end up adding later on. And
mowing is a great time for meditation.
It absolutely is.
Well, we are excited to hear what's going to be going into the building. What are you picturing that the building would look like when we walk in?
Yeah, so when you walk in, there will actually be 2 batting cages is our plan, and then our office area and a little lounge area. And then as you move forward through that, there will be the big open area, which will be all the turf area. And our goal is to kind of lay that out like an infield. Mm-hmm. So it'll be big enough to have a full infield, a baseball infield.
Yeah, which is not the outfield, though.
Not the outfield, unfortunately.
Maybe that will be a future expansion. Add onto the building and add the outfield. I know.
Maybe that would be a heck of a project. But.
Oh, man. Can you imagine an indoor full baseball arena?
Yeah.
And then you'd have to add the stands in the stadium, and before long you'd have a stadium.
Yep. And then you have a whole dome. And and those are pretty pricey.
Right. Probably. Speaking of pricey, before this project launches off, you're really hoping the community will be involved.
Yeah, so our main goal is we really think we're going to bring in a lot of business to the community, which I think we bring in quite a bit throughout the summer.
Yeah. With the tournaments.
With all the tournaments and all the different teams that come in, a lot of people are spending money in our community, so we're really hoping they kind of give back a little bit and help us grow and be able to bring people in year-round.
Yeah.
And with that, we have our donation page online. We have a GoFundMe page, just about any possible way you could donate. And with us being a nonprofit, everything is tax deductible.
So the FCBCA is a nonprofit organization?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Now, the cost of the project, do we have an estimate yet?
We have a rough estimate of about $400,000, and that's our rough estimate as far as we haven't gotten a full quote from a builder yet.
Right.
We're still waiting on that. We met with one right before Christmas.
So it could be a little less, a little more, but that's a good estimate. Probably. And that's actually a very reasonable price for the size of building you're talking about.
Yes, with us already having a land, that's a big chunk of change that a lot of people have to put out. So with us already having that and most of it being level, there's not a lot of groundwork that has to go into that.
And a lot of that is concrete floor. The concrete floor I don't know, will there be a concrete floor?
Yes, there'll be a concrete floor. That way we can put the turf down and that's a big chunk of change too, is the concrete, not just the steel, which as you know, steel prices are going up. So that's hurting us a little bit, but.
So are we saying $400,000 for the building and all the things that are going to go in it, or is that just to get the building up?
Correct. That is for everything. We're including the turf, the nets, all the equipment we want, because we're really looking to do it high tech, because baseball is really evolving into technology.
You're kidding.
Yes.
We're getting technology in baseball now?
Oh, yeah. It's unbelievable the amount of crazy technology and the expense that's in it.
Share an example. What is it? What do you, like, I don't know, you talking about maybe hitting? I mean, I know that's always been around, to be able to clock the speed and that kind of thing.
The velocity is a huge thing now. Before it was just a matter of how hard you could throw.
Okay.
That's all they really cared about. Now it's how hard are you hitting it off the bat. They're tracking the different spin rates of a baseball, the way
so
the ball
you can have a
spins.
Technological bat to and a ball to kind of decide how they connect together, and then it does some sort of
pretty much
estimate.
You pretty much got it. Actually,
wow.
Our Legion team actually purchased a sensor that goes on the end of our bat that tracks pretty much how fast you're swinging, what trajectory you're swinging on. It's crazy the amount of data it collects.
Well, we ought to have some really improved players, and these things are starting younger and younger. I mean, I don't know how old you were when you started ball. Probably.
Yeah, probably.
One.
As soon as I could walk, I think I was holding a baseball.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is just, and I cannot imagine that the community wouldn't want to come around this project, because what is baseball? It's the American pastime.
Absolutely.
It's the love of all loves.
Yes, we're really, and not only about baseball, I mean, we're trying to really get the fact that it's not just for baseball. We really want to help other sports. I mean, it's tough for soccer to get out and practice in the wintertime. I mean, just like if you look outside today, it's cold and about to get that big snowstorm. So we want a place for them to be able to go in and practice, and that way it can really grow our sports.
Would it be able to be a running track?
We will not have a running track,
okay,
but technically you could run all around the outside of it, because with it being that large, you could run indoors and still have a huge area to run.
Yeah. So what are some of the other uses that you're hoping the building will get?
So to be able to run, we're going to plan on having 2 golf tunnels, which I think will be big for a driving range and people to work on
an
swings.
Indoor driving range.
Yes, that's our huge, I think is one of the best things about it that really opens it up to other people. But also for soccer, like I said, it'd be a good place for football. Also to be able to do agilities. I mean, that's a lot of space for them to be able to run full plays.
Yeah.
And
they'll have turf to do it on.
Exactly, just like they play on outside because Lancaster just got their new turf
field. And I'm
field.
sure there's some sort of padding under there between the turf and the
There will be some padding,
concrete.
but as far as the indoor turf, there's a lot less that has to go into it as far as that safety aspect of it.
Yeah, making it nice to work on.
Yeah, and another unique thing, I know down at the right next to the fairgrounds at Rising Park, kickball has been huge.
Yeah.
So we're looking to be able to do some type of kickball leagues because that's also big
and
enough.
That could be indoor, you know, in the winter. Right now they can only do that in the summer. So Parks and Rec might be able to utilize your building.
Exactly.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and we're looking to really open it up to any sports, all ages. I mean, even adults with a kickball to be able to go in there and be able to get some exercise in it during the winter when a lot of us like to sit down and just watch TV.
Yeah. And what about, I see a full gym?
Yes, so we're planning on having a full gym, and that's mainly comes from the aspect of I really want to grow the sports knowledge of how to lift, the proper ways of lifting. That's something I didn't really learn until I got to college.
And it was done improperly your whole high school career.
So I really want to try ways of preventing injuries because that's huge in baseball and huge in a lot of sports.
And it prevents kids from going on and doing this in their older years.
Exactly. So we're really hoping that having the weight room, we can really start educating the younger players on it's not so much on how much weight you can lift. It's more about how you do it.
Yeah.
And a lot of movements.
Yeah, that is, I've been reading up on that and I find that to be true too. It's more the movement and the, resistance than it is the how much weight you've got.
Correct.
On it.
So we really want to focus on specializing your sports lifts, which has gotten a lot bigger. Used to be in baseball, you never lifted. And now you're crazy if you don't lift.
Wow. Yeah. Things are changing, Tyler.
They are.
Oh, goodness. So share with us some even community events that you're hoping to hold in there.
Yeah, so this would be a great opportunity for having birthday parties. Kids love to get in and run around and do
a T-ball baseball party.
Yep.
Hallelujah.
Exactly. Just about any type of birthday party you want to run, having that open space. It's endless the amount of things we could do in there. Banquets. People can rent that out for banquets. It'll
on
be,
the turf? Would it hurt the turf to have a banquet on
No, it honestly won't with the way chairs are now. You don't have the small holes that are going to dig in there.
Right.
And that turf's going to be turf's meant for cleats. And if you know cleats are metal and
that's true.
And they don't rip through there. So
what is you mentioned to me a really fun idea earlier.
All the movies, yes. So a big thing I would like to do on like Friday nights, maybe have like a family movie thing revolving around sports. And I think that would be something unique for this town to, on Friday nights, go and have a movie with your family and sit on a turf, have blankets out, and watch a giant projected movie.
That's pretty cool. And you could do that in the winter. I love it. So this is a really huge aspect of our community that could be utilized, and it sounds like you guys really want to share it with the community and to be able to open it up, and it's going to be available for rental but also for public events that you will put on that people, I'm assuming, can come to for free. And so wow, share with us, if you would, how somebody can donate or volunteer towards this project.
Yes, so the big way is you can go to our website, and we actually have a donation link on our website that links directly to our GoFundMe. And then also, we obviously take checks.
Yeah.
That can be made out to Fairfield County Baseball Complex Association, and those can actually be mailed to, our mailing address is not actually our location. We don't have a mailbox at Beavers Field. So our mailing address is actually 830 Harding Avenue, which is Lancaster, Ohio. So you can mail a check there, or you can just contact us through our Facebook, and we'd be happy to set you up in any way. A lot of businesses can also donate by advertising. So we advertise along our fence line, which is directly on 37, which is only $400 for our banner, which we think is extremely reasonable with the amount of traffic that comes through there. It'll definitely, with having High University of Lancaster right across the street, we bring in a lot of traffic being at that location. So to have a banner up there, I think is huge.
It's a huge, big deal.
Yeah.
Wow. And so people have to have their own banner made, but then they can hang it for
Correct.
the 400.
Correct.
Is that for the year?
It is for the year. We tend to take them down at the end of the season just for the fact the weather really starts to tear those down. But we're happy to keep them up year round for you, but you're going to have to replace that banner more often than you're going to want.
Yeah. Very good. Well, Tyler, thank you so much. And share with us online. People can go to the website and look up future projects and see this.
Yes, so we actually redid our website. I believe we launched it last year in December. We put a lot of our history on there, which all of our pictures, my grandfather is a huge record keeper.
Yay.
So he had abundance of scrapbooks from his coaching through the field development. So we have just about all the pictures on there from when the field was a farmland all the way up till now, which I think is extremely neat to watch the progression of the field.
Mm-hmm.
And then also we have our post-11 pages linked to that same thing. So all of our recruiting videos that we're doing for the players, anything like that is on our website. And then also we have a future project link, which takes you directly to the Beavers Dam.
And you can see the outline of where it's going to be on the field, a little bit of an outline of what the inside will look like, and more details. So, Tyler, thank you so much for sharing today. BeaversField.com is the place to go. Tyler Sisson with the FCBCA.
Yes, thank you very much for having us in. We definitely appreciate it.